Hello and welcome to R&DW Adventures for a different kind of Mouse Monday. I'm Renee.
And I'm Daryl.
And today we have this kit from National Geographic where we get to break open 10 geodes and find out what's inside.
Now, for people who don't necessarily know, National Geographic is now part of the Disney Empire. So this is, in fact, a Mouse Monday.
It is. And we were recently on a trip where we found some geodes. We bought a geode.
Yeah, they weren't naturally occurring geodes.
Well, there's one we're still unsure of.
Well, I mean, they're all naturally occurring. They're just...
Right.
We weren't in their natural habitat.
But we weren't far from their natural habitat and found them to be really interesting. So Nat Geo has a kit and it comes with 10 geodes and a book of how to open them and how to identify what's inside.
So we've already done some geode opening, done some testing, and went a little bit overboard with it. So what they prescribe in this book is one of two methods, which I'm not finding in the book. And we just opened this on camera, but we did actually cheat and watch a
video.
rockhound who grabbed these and opened them herself.
The two methods it talks about are the hammer and the sock method. Hammer and chisel and sock method.
Well, it doesn't talk about the chisel.
It does.
It does? Oh, hammer chisel method, yes, okay. And the sock method. So we'll skip the sock method because we don't like that one so much.
The sock method's actually, the idea of it's cool. You put the geode in the sock and you hit it with the hammer. So we might try one where we just hit it with the hammer so you can see what's going on.
And why we don't like that one.
Right.
But we've got a bag of geodes, different origins and sizes.
Right. It comes with a couple of display stands. A magnifying glass.
And the safety goggles.
And safety goggles. I don't think I will be wearing their safety goggles today, only because...
They're like kid size?
No, well...
They might actually be big enough.
They might actually fit me. They actually do, but they're not really comfortable.
No.
And I have a pair of safety goggles that go over my glasses better than these.
So we're going to do something a little different for our Mouse Mondays, which is we're going to take this outside.
Yes.
So through the magic of editing, you're going to see what we're going to do with our first geode right now. Our first one that we tried was essentially the sock method where you just smack it with a hammer. And we did this video of it without the sock. So this is actually how this one broke. Normally when we've done this with other geodes,
it kind of crumbles.
It crumbles into multiple parts. So this actually worked really well. And we didn't do this with any of the other ones, so, you know, we don't know.
Right.
It could be they've specially selected the rocks. I don't think so. These broke really nicely.
Right. They don't necessarily look different than any other ones that we've done, but they certainly broke differently than any other ones we've done.
Well, and I think this is a variety of one. The ones we usually get are like Madagascar, I think.
Yes.
Which, you know.
Maybe it has something to do with it.
I'm sure some
or
of these
maybe we've had a little bit more practice now.
This could be as well. But that one you use the rock hammer on. When we do the chisel and hammer method, we use a regular hammer, and they're just the standard masonry chisels. So that we've tried. It does take a lot longer. We did that on this one that you're looking at right now.
And scoring it is actually really important, like doing a little bit so you have something to work with. You're not just pounding into one place.
Creating that fracture line. If you just chisel it in one spot, it will shatter just like the rock method, or the sock method as they call it, does.
Although this one didn't.
So this is what that looked like. And you can see it's got a nice natural edge to it. It looks like it broke open just on its own. Right.
And if you can see in here, if you look in here, you'll see there's some really big nodules. You can kind of see, if you look back in there, there's actually a really big piece that, I mean, it's stuck in there, but it's like a really nice piece of crystal.
Then we pulled out the wet saw.
Yes, our new toy that Daryl was really afraid for me to use.
Yeah, this is a new toy. It's really a cheap one. It's the cheapest one you can get off of Amazon.
We probably need to replace the blade.
But that's all that you need for doing these geodes. So, we started with some bigger ones and played with them. And we'd never worked with a wet tile saw before,
Ever.
so this was all new to us. But look how nice and clean that edge
They're
is.
so nice. This is it's. I mean, ooh,
It needs to be polished.
but it's so smooth right here.
Yeah, but you have to polish these
right.
to get them smooth
But I
and
mean,
get that
compared
nice
to
shiny edge.
compared to like this is really
Yeah.
smooth.
So this is not a natural edge. The hammer methods are giving you a natural fracture point. This is definitely that nice clean look, and the results
It's just
were
gorgeous
really beautiful.
inside.
So that's definitely the way to go if
I'm
you
going to interrupt
can.
you for 1 second.
If you can
though.
do it though.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, oops. It came with the book. I'm like messing up the stand that you made. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done. It came with a book. That was really cool because it gives you instructions on how to do it. And if you can see, this is what the hammer method, the sock method is the same thing, just smashing it. And in the picture, you can see it breaking up. But the cool thing about this is it tells you, it shows you hot spots. It shows you how to break it. It gives you some suggestions. Which camera should I be showing it in?
Well, it depends. If you're looking for details,
Well,
it's only going to be the
It
close-up.
also tells you, like, there's pictures of what the different possibilities are, so you can identify what you found. Most of what we found is just quartz. Regular, I mean, not just, but regular quartz. You can see that right here.
Well, let's go through what we actually have, and then you can try to identify. So, a couple more of the geodes. And when you use a wet saw, it does take out a good amount of material in the middle. But there's our open geode, and this one was more solid than most of them we've had. The funny thing is, the way that we selected to cut this one open, there's like a void on either side.
It's pretty cool how that
so
happened.
it's really a weird, cool one.
And I love,
And
the thing I do love about cutting this with, because I have no idea what this would have looked like if we chiseled it, but it's just so smooth because it was solid.
And another one that has a lot of solid crystals, the quartz, not so much the voids. Then the one that Renee tried and gave her
It doesn't look
problems,
like any of these rocks.
it's not a geode.
It's not. It's like
It
granite.
does have a little bit of a void, but it's definitely not a
Yeah, it does
geode.
have a little bit of sparkle in this void right here. If you can't even see it. It's like so tiny, but I'm pretty sure it's granite. Which isn't one of the things it says. It's not agate. It's just,
So,
it doesn't follow any of the lines to be agate.
Another really pretty small but pretty quartz. And
Really pretty quartz.
this one almost to me looks like it's got some of the rose in it, the pink.
It does. It has a slightly pink tint.
Then we get into some more interesting ones.
And I'm not sure if that's calcite, agate. I think that's agate.
Well, it's
Actually.
agate, I think, yeah.
I think it's agate. It could be druzy.
Well, and it's
But I'm pretty sure it's agate.
I think it's a series of. Or
There's
it's
like a
more
combination.
than one, yeah.
But it looks like a mixture of, this one looks also, I think that one looks like a mixture between the calcite and the druzy.
Well, but this one definitely has the glistening, the.
Right, but see, look at
what's
these
the
two.
name of that I'm looking for? I can't remember.
Well, this definitely has those little crystals in here.
Yeah.
But this part here looks kind of like the druzy.
Yeah, there's a geology term for that.
You know,
I'm trying to call it galena, but I know that's
it's
wrong.
not galena, but I asked you what it was the other day too, because I heard them say it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
But it's quite possible that it's agate too, because if you look at it, the agate on the picture is very crystally in here. But the lines
of
don't
course, it might
suggest
be
that.
microcrystals. So yeah, it probably is an agate.
And
So we need to get better at that part of it if we're actually going to do like the rock hounding.
I can say I want to be a rock hound, but I don't know enough about rocks.
But this is a fun, easy activity for the family to get into.
Maybe not the saw part of it.
No, not necessarily the saw, but even if you want to get into the saw.
It's really not that hard. We just picked it up, and I mean, shop class has been more than a couple years for me, but I mean, aside from the fact of working with small pieces.
Cost-wise, it's not that bad.
No.
With that saw and this kit, it was still less expensive than what we got with the Tiny Kingdom set, which was the 10 boxes of the mystery pins.
Right.
On the discount from Shop Disney for both their 10% off everything store-wide sale and the Disney Visa. That still came in more expensive than this kit.
Exactly. And
which
this
I want to
kept
say was
us
like
more
30,
entertained, I think.
40%, or 40 bucks rather. And then the saw was only 100.
Right. So, and this was like a whole, like a couple hours worth of fun activity.
Well,
maybe not a couple hours, but
probably less than an hour actually.
well, by
with
the time
saw.
we set it all up and
and if you're going to do the hammer, that's fast.
Right.
It's it's smack it, it's done.
But I mean, like we actually did something other than we opened, but it was quite different opening than.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a lot more. I shouldn't say a lot more fun. It's a lot different type of fun.
It's like
better,
hands-on, literally
it's a better
dirty.
value fun, I think, than the pins. Now the problem is, what are we going to do with all of these geodes that we now have laying around?
You know, I'm not. I'll take some to school because I think the kids would like it. I'll talk to the science teacher. I miss the science teacher from my old school. She moved to Israel, so I'm not sending him to her.
No. No, you don't ship rocks.
But 6th grade does earth science, so I will give it to my science partner at school. Some of them, maybe.
All right. And these need to be cleaned up. But what we do need to learn, which is separate from this Nat Geo Geode box, is how to polish these to get that nice edge. Because now that we've got the saw, we need to polish these so they actually glisten.
And something I should also say is when we were looking at them before, just real quick, you're like, it's not dirty. But then we found these, and this was almost the same color as this when we got it.
Yeah.
So
there is a lot of dirt on these when we get them wet.
Right.
So a couple of these have left mud on our fingers. So we really need to probably soak them for a while and then scrub them and do all the polishing.
Probably.
If we're actually going to display them.
But some of these are also really cool. They've got the crystals on the outside still.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
But for, the 30, 40 bucks for this kit, it's a hammer.
Right.
It comes with the safety glasses.
And a magnifying glass in case you want to see.
Yeah, it's a good way to get into a little bit of rock hounding or just give the kids a little bit of a geology lesson. That is going to do it for this one, though. Make sure to check out the other videos on our channel. Click the subscribe and bell icon if you like what you see. Then on this side is going to be our openings playlist. So we've got a bunch more openings over there. Not geode openings, but a lot more openings of other products.